Please excuse my tardiness. Had to finish my breakfast. It was delicious. Of course, I fully expect it to impact my energy level because it was basically nothing but carbs. And I got a full 4 hours sleep last night. So, woo! Ready to go! You know, it's really interesting. There'll be sometimes where I don't get much sleep, but I wake up feeling great because you wake up at like the right time in your cycle, your sleep cycle. But the problem is that it doesn't necessarily carry throughout the entirety of the day. So, while I am energized now, we'll see how long that lasts. But yes, good time zone, everybody. Nimumbra, Wakfina, Malero, Maxim, Dog. You're all having a wonderful day. Good sky. Good sky to everyone. And Yoke, how's it going? Good Emma's always good too. Nothing wrong with that. No worries, Maxim. I know you don't have to explain to me. I know a lot of you are in the points of your lives where a lot of shit's gonna start popping up, a lot of time-consuming things. And just won't be able to be around for, you know, certain periods of time. And that's okay. I am here for when you are, you know, for when you are available. Hey, Ahmed, how's it going? Do I have to check anything here? Okay, so it seems like we're done there. Justice office. Oh yeah, we went. Yeah, that's right. Tea. Iris has tea waiting for us. Oh no. This is how it starts. This right here. This is how the hoarding. This is how the hoarding starts. Newspaper just lying everywhere. You know, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh man, sucks that we have to read the newspaper." Actually, it's more like this. Sucks that we had to read the newspaper online. I miss the old days when we had it in paper print. In fact, I still get my newspaper in paper print. I don't care what that dag-nabbit internet says I should be doing. But I bet once newspaper cuts out paper print completely, it is going to significantly reduce the amount of the general amount of hoarding as well as the volume of hoarding, because newspapers are such a big part of that. I love being able to look at this newspaper from 2 years ago. I can't bear to let it go. Why? What happened that you need to keep that? Okay. Oui. Is that? What was that? A man screaming in a most unflattering way. Do you think? Could it have been Mr. Sholmes? Oh my, I do hope not. Wow, that's some red hair. I don't have to do it anymore. Oh, mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display, huh? Who are these people? Just look at their hair, it's bright red. Well, I mean, once we have no trees in this world, we have a lot more problems than hoarding, I suppose, with the whole carbon dioxide issues being skyrocketed because there's no fucking trees to absorb it in the air anymore. So I got the impression that the first one was like super Italian, but then obviously the second one was French, so... But they have to be related, right? I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes. Right, you two. You're coming with me now. Down the clink. No, not in prison! It is dark and damp, but I don't like it. I can't... They're just gonna be two different nationalities, I guess. No, not in prison. It is dark and damp, and I don't like it. I feel like I can't do the bad French accent in a child's voice. I don't know why. No, not in prison. It is dark and damp, and I don't like it. No, not in prison. It is dark and damp, and I don't like it. See, that still sounds more Italian. It would appear so. Oh, the darkness. It is my friend. I am not scared. Wait, but you are always scared. But you are always scared of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiots. And let's sit quietly in the dark and plan our next daring heist. I don't like this. I don't like this. Well, tough. We'll finish this down the yard. Now get moving. Bye then, Ginny. Have fun. Oh yeah, thanks, Iris. And thanks, you great detective. And so starts the great relationship between Sholmes and Detective Lestrade. Yeah, they're definitely French. I can't do this voice. I can't do this voice in French. It always sounds more Italian. Oh God. I don't. It's like a mental block. Ha! Gina, Iris, Susie, everyone, Reno. Hello, Iris. We're home. Tadaima. What the fuck does that mean? Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well that's great news! I hope I'll get to see my daddy again soon! Ah, yes, of course. Oh God! Are we still doing this? Yes. I mean, you will. Someday. after you die. Dr. John H. Wilson. So, Iris, all that remains now is that greatest of problems known to man. Whoa! But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order. Don't you, my dear fellows? That is red. There's something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo. I was gonna say Narrow Hollow again. Do I have a crumb or such like on my face? Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say.
Come along then, everyone. I've brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea.
Whatever's going on here today? In that case, let us sit and drink now, and be merry, for I am in fact expecting a guest later today. Dude, your hair. The lie you told. Red herring! Hey, Randy. Did I mention that I dyed my hair once red? It was during a very turbulent time during my college. If my hair was red, my fingernails were black. Tried wearing eyeliner, but my eyes were just too goddamn sensitive for that. But I tried. How women are able to apply that every day is just beyond me. Whew. Hey, CJ. Good luck on your first day at work. Well, the problem is that it's like, it's not natural, right? It's just like, that's like red. Troll smile! He's just gonna contribute all this to the fun and not even be around when the ice cream happens. Oh. Okay, so... One thing about energy drinks like this, even Bang, which is really good, with some things it'll have the toothpaste effect, where it like amplifies the taste in a really bad way. Not with everything, but with citrus it seems to be a pretty consistent application of that principle. Because I was drinking that orange was like in my mouth. Which if you like orange, that might be good. But as we all know, I mean, I assume dye has existed for a while. I'm just not sure how accessible it was. Yeah, I bet they thought he was satanic or something. Actually, no. Dog, you're not as old as I am, so probably not. Back in the late 90s, if you were a teenager and that's what you did, you were obviously Satan. That's true. He is a known chemist, so if anybody could do it, it'd be him. I'm not even gonna dignify that comment with a response other than what I just said. That's my response. No, from what I've gathered at this point in time, at least Sholmes is pretty poor. Or at least he has long stretches where he doesn't make any money. Because what case was that when he was worried about just paying the rent? Rich people don't have to worry about making their rent. Yeah, it's right. He had to work that was last case. He had to work as a waxwork just to make some money. I missed what Susanoo said. Mr. Sholmes, who are the two gentlemen that were here before? Oh, just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance. By no means should you take note of their very unique character design. They will not be in the case at all that you will have to deal with later in the next few days or whatever. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions. When the mood takes you? All manner of infractions? But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out. Oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes? But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally.
You should have asked Grainsy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party.
I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Aha! I have it! A bungler. That's the word. Good. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So, those redheads have been up to no good? Are there actually people that'll say, like, oh, they're up to no good? I don't think I've once said that phrase outside of, like, reading fiction. Look at those guys. They're up to no good. Huh. What are you doing today? Oh, we're gonna be up to no good, let me tell you. He could, but I don't get the impression that he wants to make money off of them. He just does it because he likes doing it and, like, providing utility to society. I could be wrong. I could be reading that wrong, but... That's what I... The Prince of Baker era. I was up to no good. They started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got into one little event of fisticuffs, and my darling mother became afraid. I wonder what the men did. What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before?
Is it another friendly, intricate,
friendly?
Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes?
The case of how to turn my hair back to blonde. How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. What's this? These weird words you say, Mr. Englishman. Possibly.
It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now.
like, okay, I know that humans as a species, we span back thousands of years, right? So it's not like we are brand spanking new. I guess in the timeline of the Earth, we are still kind of brand spanking new. But like, would you say a theory from 40 years ago is new? I don't feel like a theory that was put forth in 1982 is going to be something that I call new anymore. Ah, a friendly case, finally something different. Exactly. Nice change of pace.
According to its author, Mr. Darwin, the humans were once apes who lived in the treetops.
Wait, what? We? We were apes? Well, I wasn't an ape! Indeed. And for the very moment, those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans. It has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man.
Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes?
Why? Is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent! Well, I guess this just answers our problem, our question now. You know, I would think the police would still pay him for his assistance. They can contract him to work with them. That's not something that is beyond their capabilities. I even think of like I guess the types of theories that I've been most familiar with recently, or the ones that I've actually like put time into learning recently, are all in astronomy, physics, and stuff like that. And there's been a lot of development in the past 40 years, especially when we're talking about black holes and stuff like that. With Stephen Hawking and his contemporaries. I don't know. I don't believe. I don't see those theories as new. I don't necessarily see them as ancient either, but they're just kind of there. Like I don't know. Maybe it varies from principle to principle, or discipline to discipline, even. Ah, there's a lot of sighing in this game, more so than other Ace Attorney games.
But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Two-Spells only the other day?
Pshaw! A large sum. 1 potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later. And all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you. A motor car? Holy shit!
Honestly, Hurley, you know you squandered it.
That sounds like a great investment. Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least.
And what was the answer?
Why, there's a substantial clue before your very eyes.
No, tell me, let me see.
Oh, I'd pay too. No, I'm fine. We've had what I would say light discussions before. I don't really mind people saying what they are. It's just a matter of don't argue with each other about it. It's obvious that there are many different views in the world. There are probably many different views in chat. As long as you respect each other's views, as long as your views are not, we are superior to other races, you know, that sort of thing, where you're actively looking to disparage another, then your views are fine. I mean, Dog himself likes to discuss, not philosophy, like, general history. I guess it's more of just history behind, certain Christian sects at times. Is it theology? Is that what I'm thinking of? Like, not pushing an opinion one way or the other, just simply stating, well, this is why, this is where this comes from, or whatever. Humans are sorry creatures unable to see what is in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There is one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think. In the end? It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation. That's a great description of what that hair does, because it assaults your senses. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy different colored hair, like flamboyantly colored hair. But there's something about the presentation of this that's just like, maybe it's because of who it is that his hair is usually blonde.
I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thanks for the hints. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. We do tend to focus on the law of the land here as opposed to divine law, I will say. Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago you said to us, violation, a separation of church and stream. There we go. We lie. Ha ha ha. That case aboard the SS Buria in January, Cosmo wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on? The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Yeah, no shit. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse.
Oh, how horrible! I have half a mind to kick you in your testicles.
It was necessary to find some material from which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why do it in the first place? I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? His disappearance in Hong Kong.
Oh. believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. Mr. Sholmes. I still would like to kick you in the testicles.
Yeah, Jesus! If he's not dead, then what happened to her? But, like, all the crew knew he wasn't dead. So, she probably wasn't? But then what about Brosanaga? Was he in on it? Because he might have tried to take her. Did he leave the ship with them? I don't remember. I'm not sure it's implied that it was staged or manipulated, because we don't know. She might have still done it like the way it was done, like it was all done like on accident or whatever. But yeah, that'd be kind of fucked up if she was tried for murder and she didn't really murder anybody. Let's look at this newspaper. It's speaking of blinding.
This looks like last week's edition. What's that article circled in red ink there? It's an advertisement column. It says, to the Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League? What's that?
A League of Redheads. Context clues, Mr. Naruhodo. I've never heard of it before, but...
There's something on my face. Clearly this has something to do with that lively hair. And what is this? The mask Cosmo wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zeeks' apprentice. We cast it aside after the trial the other day. I just sort of picked it up. Put it on the table here. Why would it be in your office?
You ought to give it back to him, I suppose.
He has his memory back now, doesn't he?
I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself.
Why? You ain't got nothing to hide from.
But isn't he your best friend?
Yeah, and don't you want to bone him? Like, relax, Susato-san. That doesn't mean he can't act like a douchebag to us.
The Kotatsu.
Alright, Iris over here? She is not. Wait. Oh, I thought this chair was turning different colors. But no, it's just the reticle appeared on top of it. I am a moron. Looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes. Who said? I think it was Van Zeeks that said advertisement last stream. Now I know I could just start saying it like that the entire rest of the way because that's how they pronounce it. The British way of saying advertisement. It sounds like they knew right away, like right after it happened.
Let the show begin!
They knew. Hi, Coulter. Welcome back. I didn't know you unsubscribed, sad face. Oh, I certainly did enjoy my treat.
No, we don't. We say advertisement. Or ad is how we usually shorten it. You've always called it LOL? Well, I mean... Yeah, why don't you just say ad? Seems like this is something that, we might have done slightly better. By one syllable. To the red-haired, to the red-headed league. Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry. For the first instance, and quite indispensable. Observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast? So, what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled? Regale. It's just, ugh, it sounds so bad. Regale you. Ugh. It's when you say it like that, it sounds like you're a really bad English student. I know that's not actually the case, but that's just, it just sounds so awkward. You noticed it in the paper then. You noticed it in the paper then. That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive more once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. What? Just for having red hair? Make my fucking hair red. Jesus! That's sick! Oh my, £4 a week? Wouldn't that double your stipend? But why? What are they paying people for? That I don't know. New details are given in the advertisement. Oh, see, now, I always thought people with red hair, I was always told at least, that people with red hair simply didn't have souls. So is it because they had souls, but then they traded it for their red hair? Or did they never have souls in the first place? This is just confusing. I am familiar with Sherlock Holmes stories as far as the variations told through television shows. I have never read the stories myself. Like, actually read the original stories. Probably. That might be nice. I like a great audiobook where the whoever's doing the voiceovers is really into the role. Queen Bee Victoria. There you go. There you go. Mystery solved. But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. God. Oh, I have to do that so that I can. Yeah. The problem is that you would have to be on demand. And I don't think you want to do that. So will I, just on the off chance. I might be stretching a point, I think. Trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see. God. McAfee needs to go away from my computer. I already have virus protection. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. Ha 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 ha. It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Holmes. So you decided to try to join in his place? Correct! I mean, look at me! Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why? Why'd it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo. Though it pains me to admit it. What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes? I'm glad you asked, Mr. Sato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight. By the wonders of chemistry. Chemistry? I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. In the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. Ah, so the carpet would match the drapes. Well, that answers that question. I think I'll pass. But, Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it? Ah, amateurs are always hampered by such fears. Oh, I should never have doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say... But of course. To earn 4 pounds per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely. So anyway, Hurtley left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. Well, the park on Lime Street where the red-headed league were interviewing prospective new members. So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with red-headed folk. Like a Coaster's Orange Barrow. Coster's Orange Barrow? I have no idea what that is. Like a Coster's own Orange Barrow. Like a Coster's Orange Barrow. I queued for 8 hours, solid, before at last I reached the front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" So naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away." after which I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police. He did it out of spite? Oh, God. Oh, dear. What a disaster for Hurley and those two redheads. Mr. Sholmes, you mentioned before that you were expecting a guest today? Indeed, Miss Susano. That is correct. I don't wonder, not another one of those redheaded gentlemen that were here before. Not at all. They were petty villains. The guest I am expecting is a client. Oh? A young gentlewoman who wishes to appoint the services of this great detective, no less. Oh, how wonderful, Mr. Sholmes. You must stay and observe the fashion in which a great detective receives his customers. Must we? I have you in my clutches now, Rents, just as I have you in my clutches, redheads. Ha 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 ha! That hearty laugh is masking rather sinister thoughts, I feel. Defund the Sholmes. He's already quite defunded, it seems. You know, the lady isn't due for another hour yet. Don't feel as though you must wait around if you have other things to do. Like, go here? Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the vault yard. Wow. Sorry, that was a weird slip. I see! Excellent work, thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zeek's doing here? It does work for him, doesn't it? Hi, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? The place is stifling enough as it is. Really don't need any more tension. My apologies! I didn't notice you come in! Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Wow! That was savage! You basically don't exist to me. I'm sorry, you're just unimpressive. Yo, what's up, Trep? Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. She requires a job that is so secure that if she were to set the place on fire, the owners would apologize to her for making the building so flammable. Thank you for that fun fact. I have no idea how to properly convert that to the way us Neanderthals measure height. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here. Wasn't somebody talking about if they wear white, they're super trustworthy or whatever? Anyway, what the hell are you here for? Yes, my lord, I'm right here. Kill me now. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. If If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my intentional forensic science symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam. "6'5". Yeah, be an inch taller than me. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. Naturally. I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zeeks. I will attend at once. Gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I thought we were past all this shit! I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Ah. Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe! Ah, of course! Fuck! I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, You're not. You've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoings precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Van Zeeks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Oh! Missing? What's become of Kazuma-sama now? Not long ago, visitors' numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Are even that many people in the world? This fucking guy. As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital, Tokyo, is 2 million. I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making, 2 years of preparation and negotiations with other countries. Sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques. And cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Oh, and the chat up here? Yeah. Ever since I switched off of Restream, because Restream didn't. But if you just use YouTube's browser, then yeah, it does. Oh, and your chat. Does it usually have a problem doing that? Yeah, right, Maxim. Oh, whoops. Couldn't have foreseen that happening. Oh, they get blocked? I didn't know that could happen. Interesting. That sucks. Which is why this landmark symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire! In order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. FBI like, would be a shame if someone else were to take that lead. He's the same as ever, I see. Passion of his is quite something. You don't see anything, Maxim, so everything's blocked for you? You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. That is really presumptuous. You might care the most. So you put your avatar up, like, knowing you won't be able to see it, but other people will? It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the yard from the ground up. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. Not that it's your faults or anything. Oh, I see. Not in regular YouTube search. But you don't see the channel emojis? Do you see them on Discord? I first established the FIT team a year ago, experimentally to start with. Dr. Scythe at their helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. It was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department, or the FID team. Oh, the problem in Discord. And can you not do that now? Obviously. No one wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintentional repercussions of our trial. Simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Sorry if I don't sound grateful. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. It's Maxim's face covered with a box. About Lord Van Zeek's apprentice. Oh, yes, that came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends. How did you become an apprentice to Lord Van Zeek's in the first place? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel. Oh my! So he stowed away to get here? Yeah, no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact that he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zeek's. That way I could keep an eye on him. What?
So you're telling me an undocumented immigrant comes in and what the fucking Chief Justice decides is, oh man, you know it's a great idea. Make him the apprentice of my top prosecutor. Wow! Strongheart is most certainly pro-immigrant. That's a strong stance. Jesus! Yeah, he just happens to be racist towards the Japanese. Oh, that is bold. But then why the mask? So Lord Van Zeeks couldn't tell he was Asian, of course. I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeeks with tiresome explanations of why he had an Eastern apprentice. That's a much nicer way of saying what I just said. Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask? He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zeeks. I have high hopes for his future. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being. To go where? Where else does he? Okay. Oh. Maybe trace his father's footsteps, but I thought his father was in London the entire time. I take it you also didn't know. The man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean. Genshin impacts. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was... Oh yes, Genshin Asogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain. There were such awful murders and unprecedented using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. The true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then and can't be made public now. That seems like it's the opposite of what it would be here. A lot of people seem to just, like, you're from somewhere else, I bet it was you. Even though crime rate amongst any type of immigrant is lower than the United States citizen, but that's another story. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London. The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand. Correct, however. He did make a great impact. Great as in terrible, but... It has to be noted that there was some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. What? Supporters of a mass murder? Ah, I see. The Joker. This is before the Joker story had been made, huh? Well before, decades before. The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed, anyway. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? Oh, Ryunosuke is so innocent and naive and precious. I just... Oh, what a guy. I just wanna rub his little head and say, you just don't know, do you? It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey. Okay, apparently that's all he has to say about that.
I am not going to present the red-headed thing to him. Apparently that's the end of our conversation. Ah! Here's my guest now, my latest client with money to spend. Oh, I do hope it's Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Harley. Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. You must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating. Save locating a runaway, of course. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? Oh dear, I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due. Yikes. Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Herlock Sholmes, please, oh please! Please find my husband, he's run away! Oh, that's right. CJ's at work. Well then.
Congratulations!
There we go. Oh. Well, you missed your cue, Mr. Jakubowsky.
Congratulations!
Yeah, she was juror number 2 from the last case. I do remember her. Get out! To upset me. I beg your pardon! Never mind. A personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo? I didn't say a word. Come, my dear madam. Be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please. Of course! Well, there's only one friend I can think of that would command so many D's to the end of the word friend. Maybe not, though. Because we're talking about her, there's also a lot of other letters involved that seem like gibberish. If your husband ran away, don't enjoy my welcome stay. What's the matter, Mr. Sato? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently. Like fucking yesterday? Or 2 days ago? Well, I mean, who do you talk to? Unless you're talking to, like, your roommate. You're at work, so that means you're almost certainly talking through text. Which means it's a good chance you're talking on Discord. Which means it's probably Cat. Especially since, again, the added D's. God. It ended 9 days ago, but didn't they say Cosmo's only been gone for a day? I suppose he could have still been there for like a week and then went missing. But I thought he disappeared right after talking to us. Which is besides the point. Even if it was a week ago, how do you forget that face? It's my job to make people feel seen, CJ. Don't take it to heart. Yes, now you come to mention it. As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil.
Is it Evie or Evi? Or something dumb like Evie?
Depending on the stone you present to me, I could turn into any one of like 7 majestical creatures.
I haven't heard of several things this game has presented me, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was Evi.
I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure.
Man, I feel like half the women in these games have like the cute little. We're just gonna start calling this the cute little Ace Attorney mole. Vaporeon Vigil. Both the most boring, but also probably strongest. At least out of the original three. When Pokemon Go was first a thing, Vaporeons were crazy popular because they were the easiest thing to train, raise I guess is a better word. Raise with and like have the best stats. Everything else that were better than Vaporeons, you like were rare to get. I just remember them being in like everyone's team. You see all the gyms around the area, just Vaporeons sitting on top. And then about a month in, you started seeing more variety, of course. But like that first week and a half, oh my god. If you didn't have a Vaporeon on your team, it was like, what were you doing?
Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you have a picture of benevolence.
But it will actually. I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer. However, for contingent reasons, I trust you will remember your words also. Yo, what's up, Brandon? Yeah, money means nothing to me, but I will take some, you know.
If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be...
How do you not remember me? People in this universe have the shortest fucking memories I have ever seen. Oh yeah, I'm a small Japanese person and I wear black. I must not be able to be seen by you. So we have to assume the lighting is worse than what the game actually presents to us. That would be really bad on the game's part. Really bad. And the words just came out of the background then that I said that persuaded them otherwise. This isn't even like a situation where like, oh, well, I never talked to the attorney directly. We had an intimate conversation about her thoughts and aspirations. Well, not aspirations, but thoughts. Oh, me?
What I am about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence you understand.
Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me.
Ah, I see.
I can vouch for the gentleman personally. After all, he's hard of hearing.
Why did I ever get my hopes up? Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Virgil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps? Oh, my!
Pshaw, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. You wish to invite the lady to tea. You must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion.
Dude thought I was picking her up. Is it possible? That's sure the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week.
Oh, okay, so it was like 7, 8 days ago, something like that.
Well, that's a nice smile. She seems nice.
Ah, I knew I recognized her.
Yeah, you don't have to show me game. I'm not an idiot. I quite recognize her because she's acting so different now.
Is she?
I mean, she's slightly hysterical because of her husband's missing, but otherwise she seems exactly the same. It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer. You know, being hard of hearing, I mean.
Huh?
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really?
Frippery. I know what I think I know what it means based on context, but what a word.
It was frippery, really? Nothing more. Ah, look what you started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much.
You're the one who's going along with it. You can tell him to fuck off if you really want to do. She obviously likes you. Now, she finds you pleasant at least. I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner.
Yes.
I'd really troll Holmes. If I was going to run away with this, I would fucking troll Holmes into the ground. I think you should sit in the corner. Huh? Let's sit in the corner. You want me to go find the corner? Well, the corner have anything to do with this? Is someone dead? Just run with it. Tell us about your husband, Matt.
Mr. Virgil, my daily, is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. Take a look at it. I'm sure it'll make you laugh.
Oh, that hair is unfortunate. Also, the top part of his head is really tall. An entirely unremarkable gentleman. By appearance, at least. God damn, dude! How long have you been married?
It'll be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably.
We have a cordial relationship? That's what you say about your ex-spouse. Like the person you're co-parenting with. We have a cordial relationship. Not your fucking wow. Sorry, CJ, it's a curse. My brain always gleans too much, more information than I wish it to, quite frankly, because I don't... Like, did I need that information? That it put together? No. I'm sure you didn't feel like being read like that either. But my brain just like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Showing or marked by warm and often hearty friendliness, favor, or approval.
Yeah, that does sound better than how I also use it personally.
But even so, we're talking about, like, friendliness?
Like, that's still not how I would describe a spousal relationship.
See, that's one thing. That's one great thing about mind altering things like drinking.
My brain finally fucking turns off for a little bit. And you know, obviously it's not good to do outside of moderation, but it is nice every so often to just go, brain, shut the fuck up. Thank you.
Of or relating to the heart.
As it would appear, I need only look at you to know these things. Well, it seems like Mr. Sholmes and I have something in common.
Oh gosh!
Your dress is the latest style, your hat's clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct?
That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty. He rather dotes on me.
I mean, I would too. I ain't gonna lie, you fine? You fine, girl? You got it going on. Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or another.
Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened. Mr. Sholmes, I'm quite beside myself.
Oh, excuse me.
My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will?
What exactly is your husband's line of work?
He's a warder at the prison. He's a warder at the prison.
Wait, so is he like an officer there, or was that another word for warden? Guard? Okay, guard. That is somewhat unusual. He's a gigolo. So your husband is a prison warden?
That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder.
Well, then he's like the enemy in every prison story I've ever read. Indeed, I see. Chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation.
Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out.
The Shomshank Redemption. That is what this chapter was called, right? Dreadful punishment. Does she mean capital punishment?
And at such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for the extra responsibility, he is remunerated and more handsomely than the other warders.
Well, yeah, he's the chief warder. Makes sense.
Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors.
Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged?
Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes.
Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it.
Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery. Well, okay. That's not a huge coincidence at all. No! Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable. You know, it's more unbelievable that you pick and choose exactly what you remember very clearly from court. Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Holmes, I'm afraid you've lost me. Ah, pay no heed, madam. Pay no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it?
Yep, here we go.
So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance. When did you realize he was missing? Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday. I'm sorry? Yesterday? That really is recent. Laughably so. The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him not to return home at night, but this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day, that has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Daly, whatever can have happened? My dear Mrs. Vigil, please, calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police? Why, naturally. But sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for one day. I was asked to wait patiently at home. In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway. Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it. Hey, Techie. What the fuck are you talking about, CJ? Oh, that's what he texts her? It should be GN Ghost. Kiss face, by the way. That's my pet name for my wife, or from my wife, as in that's what she calls me. And it's really interesting because she's like, I don't know why I started calling you that. I don't ever remember, like, hearing that word before, and I just started doing it. And I'm like, I believe you because you're from rural Wisconsin. It's not a term that's used very often there, as opposed to where I went to school, where that was something you heard every other day from somebody talking to another person. Somebody was calling somebody that. I'm not hip with the dating text slang. DJ, I'm, what, 14 years your senior? Get with the picture, bruh. I've been dead the whole time? That would be unfortunate. She is the ghost. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. If it turns out she was a ghost, I wouldn't mind. That'd be kind of cool. Like, are you married to a ghost? No. Well, I am. Also, then we can go, claim all of her insurance stuff because she's dead. I'll take that health insurance policy now. Thank you very much. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention. You seek only to put this sweet's rent in your landlady's purse. Wait, sweet? Soup. Sweet. Sweet. You seek only to put this sweet's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. I had a huge brain fart there. Alright, later, CJ. A vibe. Just a huge brain fart. And hello, Joshua. Oh, I think I know who this is. Nope, I did not know who this is. But this is the time of year that I start getting all the texts from all the political parties telling me that I need to vote and all that stuff, and I will be doing that on my own as my civic duty. Not that I need any person from any organization to tell me that I should be doing my civic duty. All of the political parties, including the political party of the Spaghetti Monster, which did branch out of the religion, yes. No, just the two. I love how that developed. Oh my god, there's more than two? I know, right? Who would have thought? I still get texts from the Whig Party. They haven't held office since like the mid-20s. Actually, might have been earlier than that. You see, go. Yeah, okay. Said that sentence like 3 times. Thank you for everything you have shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation. Oh, please report to me soon with some good news, sir. Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure. So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes. Good news should be delivered early, I always say. Money as well. If you'd be so kind as to leave the photographs of your husband in my possession. Thank you. Now, allow me to show you the door. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've been simply marvelous. That's an interesting Britishism. Marvelous spelled with 2 L's? Huh. That is an impracticality, isn't it? Because, like, with the advances in it, it's super safe. And isn't it more environmentally friendly than, like, at least with it being safe, than, like, most other... I don't know, that seems strange. It seems like they're against it because they feel like they should be against it, as opposed to, like, a logical reason? It's just interesting to me because I've been learning more about the progressions of nuclear energy. I used to be one of those people who are like, oh, Chernobyl! Everything's gonna be Chernobyl! Oh my god! And now it's like, actually, if you learn more about it, it's actually pretty good. Maybe we should be utilizing it more. You know, I think it every time, Hurley. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two. Are you sure? I can't be sure, of course. Well, then I didn't swear to it.
I have a clause in my representation agreements that says nothing in this contract is to be taken as a guarantee of any particular outcome. If any lawyer tells you that they guarantee you something, in the US at least, they're full of shit because they can't do that. Well, they shouldn't do that. Let's put it that way. That's stupid. I see. I would have hoped that HBO special would have shown, because that was a great show, and it showed like just how pathetically mismanaged something had to be for that incident to happen, and that was way back in the 80s. Oh, really?
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's...
It's devastating, because, like, she had to have felt like her talents were being fucking wasted. That's unfortunate. I suppose they could guarantee you a candy after trial, because whether or not you win or lose, they can still give you the candy. I would think both of them came away from that like, we are not being used the way we should be used. And for a profession like that, it's hard to just kind of like do things on your own, right?
I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say.
The lawyer? You know, bankruptcy doesn't mean that people have no money, right? Most people that declare bankruptcy have money. It's just a matter of the debts that they owe.
Oh, that's actually really interesting.
That's smart, because they know they can't sustain like what they did, like what they're doing indefinitely, so that makes a lot of sense. That's good, at least. You know, at least he's... Why won't they hire her? Because they don't want the husband and wife? Well, no, the bankruptcy would probably discharge... No, I don't think that... I've never seen a bankruptcy that has a debt of such a minuscule amount, but I wonder if the Chapter 7 bankruptcy would discharge the debt of one candy. I'm gonna ask Strovian about that next time I see him. Like, is there a minimum debt amount that can be included on a Chapter 7? Because I'm not 100% sure. That could be discharged. I have to go pee really quick. Wish I knew, or is there easy way to switch streams from like desktop to mobile? It felt like I really wanted to play with Lucy outside for a few minutes. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna put that stream. But what if I could simply move stream for those few minutes? There is a way to do that. No, that wouldn't work because even if you use your phone as the webcam, it still needs to be hooked up. Or does it? Or does it just work through Bluetooth? Whatever. Anyways. So the webcam isn't portable. It's hooked up by USB into the PC. And the mic is on also not portable. Like, it's not wireless. Like, I would have to be able to use something that was portable. Alright. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of the day tomorrow. If by that time I successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Would you agree, Mr. Naruto? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. Do I pay anything? Or does he pay our rent too? Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Excellent! What did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison, I mean. Ah, so you noted that.
Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery. Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated.
A professor. And now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem.
As our friend.
It's all very peculiar. Indeed, but nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain. Mr. Naruhodo. Okay, so if I had to guess as to what would happen, I have no idea if this is the case or not, and I do not want anyone to confirm nor deny my speculation. I'm just stating it for the record. In order for this story, Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo's character arc to come full circle, what would happen then is that Kazuma gets accused of murder just as his father did, and Ryunosuke will have to defend Kazuma in court, just like Kazuma helped us defend ourselves in court way back when. For the final case. I don't think it would be this case. Could be this case, but I think it'd be the final case. Sorry? Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally willing. But aren't you going to go yourself? Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen with this hair! But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair? That was a quite different matter. So I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy. No, that was only until the end of the last case. I said I would stop. Even though I do find it ridiculously hilarious. Like, it's hilarious for all the stupid reasons that exist.
Of course you are. Barclay Center is on a lowly burial grounds. 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. Bum 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 bum. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Boom. That should play every time somebody comes into his watchtower room. This is... wow. Somebody has a decapitation fetish. That's not weird at all. Okay. This also looks very cold. Like it would be cold. Also, why does he have chains here? Just for decoration? Because he ain't chaining anybody up in his office. Except maybe his mistress, his secretary. Is this... oh, okay. The problem is I cannot do a Scottish. It's obvious that he's Scottish because I cannot remember the last time a civilian was domed here. Like, it's too Irish. Dog still has someone in mind, and I said last time I was gonna wait to see who this person Dog had in mind. And so I must keep that going. I said I would wait, so I'm gonna wait. This place is full of hardened criminals. I cannot remember the last time a civilian was doomed here. Like, ugh. And you didn't want to talk to an inmate, but to me. Wow, what a giga Chad. You can know who I am. I'm the Governor Barry Caden. Hmm? Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. Why are you sweating? I'm Rinosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. And an Easterner, I see. Does that mean... yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Japan! Did you say Japan? Yes? Well, there's no any of your kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh? I didn't notice another prison next door, sir. Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about... I didn't like to be so direct, but... I've no intention of speaking with the likes of your suspicious-looking Easterners. I need more sound effects. I need to make more sound effects available for the commands.
Jesus fucking, are you kidding me?
That's a good one.
Judgment Nights of
Judgment Knights of Thunder. Why? Oh.
No. Apparently people didn't like that. Although it could have been just because of it being Giselle Brett. I thought it was hilarious, personally. Besides, I really should work on this, just like I have to work on my French. So I have more range, even if it's bad range. Now get out of my hair! As soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. You think so too? 10 years ago, Genshin Impacts, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known! You're sniffing around that case, aren't you? You're agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt. That kind of shifted in Arnold. Get gone with you before I punch your lights out. We're going. Clearly the ghost of that old killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here. So you can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Governor Caden, what are you thinking, Miss Susato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us. Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. That's Professor Mikotoba over there. Ah, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Jigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs. Having only just arrived in the country today? Goodness, he's full of energy. Professor? You mentioned something before. By the way, that is not me. Me and Jigoku, we are not the same. I'd be right where Professor Mikotoba is. Professor, you mentioned something before. About how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Prison. Oh, Governor Caden, you mean? So it is the same man. Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners. Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story. Oh, would you? That'd be wonderful if you have time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment, sitting here reading my paper. Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee? No, I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? Is he? You Mikotobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. They're fucking mind readers! That is amazing that the game actually acknowledges that. Unlike with Maya and Phoenix, where the game never acknowledges it. Wow! He called us sussy bakas. Probably. Could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts? Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. Ah, thank you. Good luck then. Could be. That would be funny.
Surprised we got back in his office. You just cast your eyes over this, Governor Kalen. Caden. What's this then? You cannot pull the wool over my eyes! You good-for-nothing Japanese student! Good lord! Holy shit! He is, very direct. Mikotoba! That young jock from the forensic laboratory? That's Mikotoba? Yes, exactly, him. Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikotoba's daughter, Susato. Jinx! You're the young man's daughter! And you didn't, that is difficult to say. And you didn't think to mention that before!
Congratulations!
I do apologize. I respect Susato. She don't feel the need to throw her father's name around. Respect. You didn't. Aye, well, you'd best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And didn't forget to try one... Wait. And didn't forget to try... Oh, God. And didn't forget to try one of these... Oh, God. And didn't forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits? Oh, I see. These wee handcuff biscuits. Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now. Now she's gonna like overcompensate later. We're gonna go into the fucking like bakery to get some bread, and she's gonna be like, "I'm Eugene Mikotoba's daughter, Susato," and they're gonna be like, "Oh, is that a name we should know?" So then, what can I do for you then? Well, we're currently investigating a case. It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing? That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor. I haven't heard anything of the... I hadn't heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison. Oh, but how can that be? Has her husband been lying to her that whole time? It's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder. Eh? Vigil? That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir? Aye, of course. You understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison. Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He was a fine warder. Sorry, did you say was? Aye, he does not work here no more. He left the job. Oh my. When was this exactly? There's the question. When was this about? It couldn't have been much less than 10 years ago now.
He has been straight lying to his wife for 10 years.
What? 10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago? As I mind it, do you ken? I haven't heard the fella's name in all that time. I so worry if he's gone missing though. But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it. I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Caden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? Important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago. Which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. I'm about to shoot my shot. Shooter's gonna shoot. So Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of chief warder 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job? In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. That was Irish. Sorry. Sorry? A walk? That's their word for it in here. A walk to the gallows. An execution. It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning. What did he do? I'm sorry, but I cannot reveal that information. But I can tell you that it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post. But why wouldn't Mr. Vigil know about it? Why would Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. That's fucked up, yeah? I wouldn't have cared anything about that, I'm afraid. Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal? And what would that be in? That last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Was it, by any chance, the professor's? My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry, I really am. But I'm not at liberty to answer that. I see. I just have to give myself to the part more. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted. The dead room, the prison, and a cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research, do you ken? Yes, I can imagine. I like Ken. I like that slang. It's very efficient. Saying, you know what I mean? Just say, Ken? To Ken? Yes. The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable. Your father worked in the laboratory. Wow, that's a hard word. In the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard. In the basement of St. Sinners. It's still in use today. St. Sinners? That's come up before, I'm sure. Yes, that's right. We've been there. That's come up before. Oh yeah, I've fucking been there. Jesus Christ. Mikotomo and I have used to ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms. for more fresh material, I suppose. Aye, and we used to sit in there for hours and grab on about dissection of all sorts. It's still difficult. Aye, and we used to sit in there for hours and gab on about the dissection of all sorts. Ach, it takes me back. Are the Welsh particularly good at the syllable efficiency? Over a pot of tea and a plate of cooked biscuits, of course. How charming. He was a good fellow, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand your Japanese. Because of Genshin impacts, I suppose. Well, I cannot tell you anything else. Thank you so much for your time, Governor. Oh! What moment before you're away then? Sir, I have it here somewhere. I found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison. God, let's add some, like, Dracula to that. The R's. I know the R's are super important and I need to work on them. What is it? As Vigil's dismissal notice. Yeah, I did that again. As Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course. Oh my, are you sure? Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original mine. Thank you very much, Governor Caden. Alan, return. 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 Well, in return, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed. Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being. Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Schultz what we found out about Mr. Vigil. What will we tell Miss Vigil, I wonder? Should we look at this shit real quick? Nope, never mind. Okay. Don't you just have an axe? We're back! Oh, you two? I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all. Oh my god. I want. Oh, Lord. Greetings, my dear fellows. You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Hello, Mr. Sholmes? Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. Turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application. Oh my. Oh my god, it's Ninja. Does he still have the blue hair? Pray, tell me, what of our warder friend? Have you garnered some new information? Oh, yeah, something very surprising, in fact, though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest. It certainly isn't, but still, we discovered that. Sholmes! Drop everything, Sholmes! This is more important! Gina? I can't Adam and Eve it! What's happened?
Clearly a very grave matter indeed. Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever.
It's the boss!
What do you mean, Inspector Gregson?
The boss is... He's dead!
What?! Well, I guess it was a matter of time before that heart attack came on. Arteries had to be clogged to kingdom come. Gina crying is heartbreaking.
Hey! I just found his body! Shot with a pistol!
What?!
But, Inspector Gregson, he was murdered? No, not Gregsy.
Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story.
Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson he's really shot? I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene.
Where did this take place?
A little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street.
Outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. Was perhaps investigating a case then.
The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange. The boss he was so good to me. I know I ain't not up to much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I'd become a proper detective. Oh, Chinny.
So who did this? You have any idea who the culprit is?
You got him already.
Already? Caught the shooter so soon?
A witness reported something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him.
Who?
What awful person did this?
Oh, God.
I still can't believe it myself.
Gina?
It was the Reaper.
Wait a minute. You don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zeeks for it?
That's right. That Reaper bloke scored and shot the boss.
No, Lord Van Zeeks? Oh my God, Maxim. Oh, Lord. A well-deserved boo from Devin. I suppose this makes sense. I mean, we defended Edgeworth, right? I guess nothing short of defending the Reaper from death could get him to change his mind about the Japanese in general. Are you quite sure, Miss Lestrade? It's Baron Van Zeeks the police have arrested.
I saw it with my own eyes in an interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him. So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses? They heard the gunshot, apparently.
I didn't see the gunshot, though.
And when our lot got to the scene, it was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room. But there's no way Lord Van Zeeks would have taken Grayson's life.
I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
Stop reading my mind!
Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come and all, as soon as you can. You gotta help. It's a detective's lot to appear whenever some sinister plot has unfolded. Little wonder we all looked haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Sholmes. What use is there being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson! Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations. Of course, yes, we will too. It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until then.
Oh, you're drunk? Hope you're having a good time. And thank you for choosing me to be your drunk viewing experience.
Inspector Gregson dead and Lord Van Zeek's arrested? Bruno, Susie! I've called you an ransom. It's waiting outside. Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Miss Usada? Yes.
Man. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
We need to take a few minutes to pour one out for old Gregson.
"21 gun salute. He deserves it. They got the whole soundtrack here on Spotify. Go through it. Choose my faves. I'm gonna do that. I know people have asked me to review the soundtracks a lot. Ace Attorney soundtracks, like, what's my favorite theme? Blah, blah, blah. Because there's a lot of good music, so it's no wonder why the music is a popular topic of the series. But I said I'd wait until the very end. I need to start compiling my favorites into a list. The bullet fell right back down, or he just happened to accidentally shoot him in the head. When I played all the games, then we'll get into the OSTs. For a lot of people, honestly, it wouldn't make much sense to do that. It's not me patting myself on the back here, but because of my experience and joy of older game music, it's not going to be that just because this newer music is more complex and evolved, that I'll like it more than the older tracks. There's a reason sometimes I just feel like listening to Mega Man classic music as opposed to like this soundtrack, for example. Because of my great appreciation for that, I think I'd still be able to put it all on the same level and just go, what do I like listening to the most? Yeah, they do. You missed our 2-minute and 20 seconds tribute to Inspector Gregson. There he is. Lord Van Zeek's behind bars.
So it's true, he really was arrested.
Sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. And Lord Van Zeek's... Go away! Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be. The last person on Earth I'd like to see. Could very well not come. We heard what happened. That you shot Inspector Gregson? Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But...
Forgive me, Lord Van Zeek, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigation, please.
If he's the person that killed him, why would he help you at all? There's really nothing I can tell you. Or are you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? This? The yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance.
Oh, who might that be?
None of your goddamn business. Someone you know, as it happens, Albert Hairbrain. Of course, yes, I keep forgetting they went to the same university. I would like to read my correspondence in peace. Let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zeek's never minces his words. They seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Do they? Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zeeks? What happened? How much do you already know?
We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small, rented room on Fresno Street,
And that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested.
we were told there was nobody else in the room, and that some witnesses heard the gunshot.
Then you're well informed.
There's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot, obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting people I work alongside. I also heard the noise, but, however, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. He doesn't actually know what happened. Really sounds like the Edgeworth case. I was just talking to him and he fell dead. I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Oh. After all, you're not representing me. He's going to need a lawyer, though. Yeah, it's not going to be you. I mean, it will be, but as far as he's concerned right now, who's going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zeeks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine. Oh, god damn, that was direct. I'd be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet. Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Surely not. I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. Ah, barge pole. You didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? And the only ones that didn't die were Gina, Natsume twice, but we're talking about individual people. Natsume and Hairbrain. It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? After the trial, Professor Hairbrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? Yes, his stamina seems to be limited, it seems. Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example. He told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. But Professor Hairbrain is safely back in Germany now. He is. So, it appears our conversation has run dry. Well, at least you didn't throw me against the candle. There was a 2-second silence, that's all. Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. What? I wonder if I say that to somebody, what the reaction would be. 2 seconds of silence and be like, it appears our conversation has run dry. If you'll excuse me. Would that be so fucking douchey? Oh my god. I was wondering, Lord Van Zeeks, if you'd like. No! I'd be happy to advocate for you. You trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. Like shit. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just, My feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly. It's a very gracious offer, however. I trust no one! What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese! But please... I have no intention of engaging your services. It was gracious of you to offer, but fuck you. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper. Find out more about Lord Van Zeeks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Man! Gregson just got killed off screen. I fucking hate that. We didn't know Mia for long at all, and we still got to see her die, like, because she's an important character. I guess she came back, too. This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. This dust-ridden rented old room is where it happened, then. What's a surprise! So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life. Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. Let's see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere? Oi! What do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath them all. I want the space above the ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey! Ain't you lot never gone over an house looking for dough when the owners are out of town? That's funny. Ina's obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt. Oh, so you turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been here long myself. Hello again, Gina. Sholmes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing around in here, pointing at stuff and flicking that and... what? Oh. He went prancing around in here, pointing at stuff and flicking that at his, and then just scuppered. Oh, he finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah. He didn't stop to say nothing to no one, not even me. Gina, would you mind if we investigated too? Listen, Odo. You're a lawyer, right? Yes? Why? Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you? Oh! Poor Gina. Never going to forget, is she? That trial would haunt her forever. I was accused of murder. Gina, if you don't mind me saying, Lord Van Zeeks really is responsible for this crime. He will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right, yeah? Go on then, Odo. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here. Thank you, Gina. I absolutely love seeing her leadership skills, like, grow out of this tragedy. Oh, it's a photograph stand. Let's look at it. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members. Ah! Why would it be if this isn't Inspector Gregson's home? Well, what's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head. They are! Look! Mr. Naruhodo, quickly! Why do I feel like this woman's familiar? My memory's surprisingly good. I've never seen this woman in my life. Prosopag, no shot. Oh, God. Of course she's familiar. We met her only this morning. And last week. Ah, it's Mrs. Vigil. This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Vigil in here? She looks beautiful in that picture. To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either. I don't know, Theo. I think the prosopagnosia, might be an actual issue. I did not see or had sexual relations with this woman. That's a voice I love doing, and I haven't done it with any of the characters yet. Not particularly good at it. But I love trying to emulate Bill Clinton. You see, he had such an interesting voice. It sounded so pleasant that when he said stuff like, I did not inhale, you're just like, I believe you. I believe you, sir. That doesn't make any goddamn sense, but I believe you. I would think that ethically, I think you'd be defrauding the court. Because that's interesting, because you're asking a question that you could technically truthfully answer the question to, and you wouldn't be wrong, but you know it's an impossibility because of his condition. I don't know, that's a good question. Because, I mean, like, well, think about it. Practically speaking, if they're actually in person, they're going to know that they're blind. There's no way they're going to get up to the stand on their own while not being able to see anything. They're just not. They're going to have no idea the layout of the courtroom or anything like that. There's going to be something that gives it away. When it could happen, though, is over the telephonically, because you're not seeing the person. All they have to do is answer the phone. I mean, people can tell jokes. There are jokes that are told in court. Attorneys think they're fucking hilarious. Try to tell jokes all the time. It's just like, dude, most of the time it's cringe. This looks like some sort of notice board or something. This looks like some sort of notice board or something. It's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Ah, Mr. Ho, look! You mean? It's an autopsy report, isn't it? I wonder if it's updated. These are case notes here, and details of prison inmates. Yes, in fact, they're all the sort of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room? Some old newspaper cuttings. Oh, and this one here! Oh yes, the advertisement, you mean? To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here? Whoever occupied this room is clearly interested in it for some reason. If a judge thinks you're driving when you're testifying, they'll tell you to stop driving. Because, like, you can kind of hear it. You can kind of hear traffic behind you. That's true. That's true. I think I could think of a lot more than just a woman if I had to describe her. An empty fireplace makes the room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? It's thick with dust, look! It could be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely handy in cold weather. Hardy? Was that hardy or handy? Hardy. Must have been extremely hardy in cold weather. That makes a lot more sense. Nobody lived here at all. I merely visited when the occasion arose. I don't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right. It's one or the other. Excuse me? Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir. Poor man. He can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. On top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off. The top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off. Yes, there's some wax splattered on the wall behind. Look. It smells as if a bullet had hit it. It does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body. Ugh. Now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, haven't they? Couldn't even call it a window anymore. Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, it was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least still let some light in. You could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Oh, what's this? It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it? In a way. Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zeek's playing with something like this. It's only about 8 centimeters tall. Could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case. Yes, I agree. It's rather delightful, after all, in a way. This is presumably the murder weapon, then. Oh my. Is it real, I suppose? I think so. Those are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them. There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire shot! No! That's quite possibly the stupidest thing she's ever suggested. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer just to ask someone who might know, I think. He said he had a wife, though, didn't he? Didn't they mention that he had a wife? I mean, Payne managed to get a wife just because bling bling. Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? It is a bright red hairpiece. I suppose the fact that it's right here next to where the body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does it? It's such a flame-colored red, too. Yes, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it. The Red-Headed League. So I suppose this is where the victim... That's right. The rip is laid around the body to show exactly how it was formed. Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away. Would probably be under Dr. Scythe's scalpel by now if not for what happened last week. that mean anything? In the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball.
Oh, God. I just remembered we still have that fucking freak to deal with. She can't be happy that we messed with her mom, right? She wanted to kill us in front of her mother. For science.
It would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. You feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost. No, it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that bloodstain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality. Battle-san is so strong, though. He's taking this far better than I am. Excuse me? Sorry, sir, can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir. Right, perhaps I'd better leave you to your work then. Excuse me. If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard. I've interrupted some deep thoughts there. And yes, they all have the same voice, because they all look the same. So I give them all the generic English Lou voice.
How do you forget that psycho? It's like the most psycho person I think we've met in this game. Even more psycho than that fucking juror that's sitting in the jury box throwing up a knife up and down. And looked like he was part of the Clockwork Orange gang.
Oh, we need to talk to Gina. That's right. Forgot Gina was there to talk to. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place? That's what I want to know. It's what? Half a year since I got out of the clink? That's why I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead. Oh yes, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he? Something like that, I think. Anyway, point is, I didn't really know much about the boss till then. It turns out, he's a bit of a legend at the yard. Goodness, really? They say he managed to solve some really tricky case. Just like that. He did? Yup. And ever since then, he started going on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else in the yard even knows what half the cases he's working on are, apparently. It's not how it's supposed to work, is it? No. So what's this legendary inspector doing in a dingy little hole like this? I know he's had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all. And look where it landed him. Respect for the Reaper? In what way? I heard him say as much. I take my hat off to that fella with his words. Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper. Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why he respected the bloke. I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in such high regard. He says something else to me and all. That I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people who are bad. It kind of set my mind at ease when he said that. Right. What is this place then? Does anyone live here? Apparently it's being ran by some cove called Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone. Those are both very, like, normal names. Sort of a here today, gone tomorrow name, that, isn't it? Must be an alias. Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. He haven't been able to we haven't been able to get in touch with him. I see. Well, judging from appearances, I'd have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever. Right? All lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation. But there's so little here. No one knew what to do with themselves. I do wonder. Yes, Mr. Sato? Could it be that this Hugh Boone is in fact Inspector Grayson himself? What? How could that be? No, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his. I never even considered that. Nice work, Suze! We're actually following a line of inquiry like that ourselves. You are? Look around the room, you'll see. There's a few things that hint at it. Should really investigate this place in detail. Nope, that's... I see, that's where the poor inspector was found, over there. Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet what did him in. Apparently, the bullet went right through him and struck the candle tree on that wall. Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely. And the gun used here is on the floor. And the gun used is there on the floor. It's the Reaper's, isn't it? No denying that. What? Really? How do you know that? Take it easy! I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big white eyes. I'm always saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself. But there's some bigwig lawmen or whatever, or whatever who said so. Why don't you ask him? Bigwig lawman, is it? Strongheart? No, because she knows Strongheart. Anyway, Fresno Street runs along that window there. There were some street sellers just outside who heard the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken down to the yard for questioning, that's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector here, after all. They'll be getting a grilling. Do you think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves? I doubt it. Lads at the yard just want to... The lads at the yard will just want to know what you're snooping for, and you'll end up for a grilling. You'll end up for a grilling and all. So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. Oh, that's that business? Yep, Inspector Lestrade there soon had that one buttoned up. Thought it was Mr. Sholmes who led that pair into a trap, wasn't it? Listen, Odo. It ain't easy going from East End Dive to Scotland Yard detective, right? But anyway, it's all part of the charm, ain't it? Being a bit loose with the truth when it helps? That's wrong for so many reasons. I find it charming. Maybe I should get artists to write stories about me, the events of Inspector Lestrade. bloom, bloom. My initial thought is that, again, this is my speculation, and I do not want anybody to comment on my speculation. My thought is, based on what we saw earlier, that Strongheart was actually more pissed than he let on, and made it so that this is essentially a punishment to Van Zeeks to get a murder pinned on him. Though I don't think Strongheart's the one that did the killing himself. He would have had somebody else do it, but I wonder if he somehow manipulated these events. Since he very quickly was like, I bet this is his gun. That's his gun. We made good time. I took an express train back to London. I don't know who that is. I can hear Lord Strongheart, can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Oh. Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. It's Kazuma-sama. Oh, you really must stop barging into my office. Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Yes. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zeeks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson. Oh, okay. Okay. So, Cosmo's gonna be the prosecutor? Let's do it then. Shouldn't trust such an important task to such a rookie, Strongheart. Not against a grizzled vet like me. I only believe in the facts, and the facts in this case point to one thing. Unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zeeks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective. Oh no, surely not. It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes. Does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. I already know him. I already know this person. I don't need an introduction. Kazuma. Oh, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution. Wait, what? Kazuma? As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law. Yeah, but I'm better. Now, at least. Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor? I feel like we've seen this young man somewhere before. Oh, good lord. Whew. I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, people over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey. Now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public wants answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. But Lord Van Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there has been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least, until now. Ah! No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. Yeah, he's definitely pulling the strings here. Although picking Cosmo again, poor choice. I am legit ready to destroy Cosmo. I don't feel intimidated as the player in the slightest. Like, say, when they brought Von Karma in. You were just like, oh shit, this is the guy that mentored Edgeworth? Fuck me. Or even Godot. He's such a legend, pal. He's never lost a case. Destroy him. Yeah, he's looking at us like we're not friends. Like, what the fuck happened that we wouldn't be friends anymore? Did you just become a dickhead overnight? So, Cosmo will be prosecuting tomorrow? That's right. But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Actually, he's not anything. He hasn't done anything so far since he's been here. Accomplished young adult law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. Actually, to a certain extent, we most certainly can. I go apply to be a prosecutor tomorrow. Doesn't mean I'll get the job. I'm just saying, if they wanted to hire me, they could. And I could be a prosecutor all of a sudden. So this is buffoonery. Although I know in Japan it's a little different. I know that. Just here, that's not how it works. And imagine what it'll mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. Most of the stuff we've done, we've learned on our own. Cosmo wouldn't know much about our tactics, I would think. I don't know, maybe. I'm ready for Cosmo to drop the "you Nipponese." Then I'd be like, wait, what? Been around Van Zieks too much, my friend. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Oh, because he was Van Zieks' apprentice. But Van Zieks isn't going to present his case. So, but I guess that's what he's assuming. So that makes sense. Absolutely. I have no doubt at all that Cosmo will be razor sharp as a prosecutor, even though, you know, he just got his memory back a week ago. Then again, Phoenix was able to fucking get through a trial with amnesia, so... But why Kazuma-sama? There's surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial. You asked for this? But why? It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented, quite exceptional, in fact. You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. Ah. It is me, Kyle. Nipponese, you're so predictable. Good to be an Englishman. And all the other English look at him like... Fuck, is he fucking serious? After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks. That's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution? Rinosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months. Oh yeah, I'm better than you. Oh, but he doesn't say that. He goes, Cosmo, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. He is being an asshole, and we'll see why, but it'll be interesting to see why. There are very few reasons I will accept narratively as making any sense for him to act like that. A lot of times, and the reason I'm so cynical about this is because I feel like a lot of times when Japanese fiction especially does this, most of the time you look back on it and you're like, it was stupid. It was stupid. There was the reason for hostility was asinine. And it like made no sense. That damn Nipponese fiction. It happens in American fiction too, but I just notice it a lot in anime, especially since I normally consume more anime than I do American fiction. Well, I guess that hasn't been true recently. We're watching nothing but American fiction. Stranger Things, The Boys, Ozark, Barry. Oh, great shows. Great shows. The actor was absolutely not that one. You'd think they could just like take that line out, unless it was like integral to the plot. Oh yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belonged to Lord Van Zeeks? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask someone higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct. Certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine. They just get guns? Were you ever a prosecutor? Is that the case in the Ace Attorney, like, in Japanifornia too? Do lawyers in Japan just get guns? Prosecutors, at least? Because they're actually considered part of law enforcement? We don't get just handed guns here as lawyers in any capacity. Actually, that's not true. If you're a JAG officer, then yeah, because you're in the fucking military, but that's a little different. Well, sure, we can be attacked too. We can be attacked as private attorneys, and are. But most of us don't walk around with guns. The prosecution may expedite the execution process. Oh, Lord. That's brutal. Why my camera's so high? It's a part of the benefits package. In your drawer, you will find your standard 9mm automatic. Semi-automatic. He did have access to a gun, didn't he? Isn't that how he killed Gregory?
Dog. But yeah, just saying, we don't go into prosecutors' offices here. At least I don't know of anywhere where this happens, and they're like, here's your standard issue gun. Unless you're a JAG officer, but that's because you are literally a military lawyer. You are a lawyer in the military. Everyone in the military gets fucking weapons. Oh, he killed him with the bailiff's gun. Oh, it fell out. Okay. Because I thought Yanni Yogi still had his gun on him. Okay, that makes sense. And Edgeworth thought he was the one that picked it up. Oh, and comedic plays? Yeah, it makes sense then. You can't cross-examine the witness if there is no witness. There are a lot of people that have done that, unfortunately. Okay, dog. We don't need a play-by-play recap. We already have enough information as it is. Yeah, somebody start the fucking wit. Dun 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 dun. Hold it!
In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim.
No! Gregson had his gun on his person. Well, Lord Van Zeek's. He claims it's currently not in his possession. That's a likely story. I don't know, I dropped it. You dropped your gun? I don't know. How'd you lose your gun? What? According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious. Yeah, I would say that's true.
But just because the gun is in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it's actually his.
No, of course not.
Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zeeks.
Hey, asshole! I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now. Is your memory completely returned? Or is he suddenly acting like this condescending asshole? Don't worry, everything's okay because I am here. Because I am here! Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do.
Right. Kazuma-sama, can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But I am not so happy to see you be such an asshole. How did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Okay, he should have seen a therapist as opposed to coming to London. I think he might still need it. He shouldn't have two swords, especially. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London.
I'm so sorry for what's happened.
Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return to the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Ah, yes. Yes. I remember that story about because somebody's a prosecutor and a defense attorney, they can't be friends. the prosecutor has to be a dickhead to the defense attorney. Yeah, that's a real thing. No, it's not. That's stupid. Doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Oh, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our empire's history. There is much you could learn from the public gallery. Strongly suggesting that we should just be watching from the gallery instead of, being the defense attorney. Yeah, they're on opposite sides. They must be enemies. What is this nonsense about friendship? Kyle All-Might Anderson. There you go. They're learned friends. God, it would really be funny. And I'm actually kind of hoping that he takes some of Van Zeke's mannerisms. Because it would be so fucking stupid, but it would be really funny. Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Holy shit, Kazuma. Your hold it sounds very unimpressive. Before you go, Rinosuke. Oh, what is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you. Kazuma-sama, what? Yeah, I remember all the times I've gotten thanked with somebody scowling at me. I guess it's the Edgeworth, but he wasn't Edgeworth before. He just suddenly is. You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection. Actually, was perfection. We have not lost the case. You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here. Oh! I actually have a favor to ask, which is, this trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow, I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense counsel. Why? What's this all about? I know you have what it takes. I respect that. He's like, I want it to be you. Because I know what you've done. And I feel like you're the one I should face. I could understand that. But Lord Van Zeeks would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. Unfortunately, he also recognizes your race and does not like it very much. He does? It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. That's Lord Van Zeeks and Inspector Gregson. A photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. Look, Gregson had more of a chin then. And who's the third person? I'm assuming that's his older brother. It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes, what I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Rinosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? He's big, enigmatic. Duh. Lord Van Zeeks is still reading that letter. How many words could possibly be on that letter?
We've been gone quite some time, though. Either he's incredibly slow. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. Or he's just staring at the page blankly. Might even be able to read English faster than he can. I was intending to ignore you entirely, but I heard that insult. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese. God damn! Oh, sorry. I didn't think you'd hear that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we heard that your trial's set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you. That's not what I asked. So in other words, no. We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided. I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi? That made the color drain from his face. His already pale face. Ha! Well then, it seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. God damn it. "10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi. It must be very tiring. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father." You're looking at me like I don't know that information already. So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court? I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart's apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. But what could he have been hoping to achieve? And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Lord Strongheart assigned his trial to somebody like that. "10 years is a period of time that is equivalent to about 3,650 days. And she looks at me like, you must know this information. Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you, Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all of us Japanese. The Nipponese bane. I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer, the so-called professor. Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi? Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. Yeah, I'm still fairly positive that we're gonna be looking back and they're gonna reveal that it wasn't really him that did the murders, because it just doesn't make sense, and I don't think it's supposed to make sense. So I lost everything when it happened: my esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. And that's why Kazuma wanted to come to Britain to find out who was the true murderer. Oh, how awful.
To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. I wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented.
What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor?
The man in charge of the professor case inquiry, Lord Mile von
seeks. Lord Miles Strongheart. Miles Strongheart. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I felt indebted. I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Miles Edgeworth. Miles Strongheart. How do you pronounce that? Did I ask that way back when? We just haven't seen his first name in a while. Is it pronounced like Miles? Miles? Or is it Males? It's like more of a long... Like male? Yeah, that's how I corrected it. But I wasn't sure if that was right either. Males. Okay. Alright. Gotcha. Thank you. Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? Ah! And of all things, as a lawyer. I sure did fuck you right up, didn't I? Felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. It is illogical. But for so many years, that hatred has festered inside me, I could no longer control it. Nah, you're just kind of an asshole. No, but his brother died. He's an asshole for thinking the way he did. Yeah, no. If you take one act by one person and apply it generally to an entire group of people, you are an asshole. Because there are a lot of people in this situation that do not take something that happened to a family member and apply it to a great general population. Because they're not assholes like that. Might be assholes in other ways, but not like that. I hope he kicks his leg on the dock at some point. And I can understand why. Now I know the history. Maybe you should have talked to somebody about it instead of, bottling it up inside. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Monk. But in the same way that I've long felt the Nippo needs to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his. The Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. Gregson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month, but he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean. It's the first time I've ever encountered it. Oh! Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. Can't imagine he did it on his own. Sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We heard that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard. Don't look at me like that. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself by uncovering this decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy. Oh my, 10 years ago? Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. And my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. It's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life. I don't have confidence in anyone. Oh. I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London. What really went on between Lord Van Zieks and Gregson, I wonder. What was the true nature of their relationship? About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Ah yes, that's not mine. There's something so ridiculous about that statement. It's not mine. One Swedish-made penis enlarger pump. That's not mine. Honestly, it's not mine. This sort of thing ain't my bad, baby. One book, Swedish-made penis enlarger, and me. Signed, written and signed by Austin Powers. Ah, yes. That's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. You've fallen into a logical fallacy, Mr. Naruhodo. What do you expect me to say to that? I just told you what I expected you to say to it. Because its popular opinion doesn't make it true. Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. And as embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That I don't know. Oh! It was issued with the revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps. Dude never carried it around with him. You have something in common with Lord Van Zieks, after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things. No, this is nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese! Oh dear. The rift is very wide, isn't it? It's not decisive evidence, clearly, but it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Lord Van Zieks, we came by this old photograph. Where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. It had to be, really. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense. No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past, and I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There's a glimmer of light in his eyes. Briefly, an insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the Stone Cold Reaper of the Bailey. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, that's the first time he's ever used my actual name. I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That Nipponese are terrible! I mean, sorry, I really have a problem. That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. Lord Van Zeeks. From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Genshin Asogi. The man he idolized, the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. But I mean, unlike Genshin Asogi, you don't know your ass from your hand. So, I mean, I'm gonna trust that you're not gonna backstab me. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? The one I just showed you. Back then I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I look to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. God, emo to the fucking extreme. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me? Of course I will. It would be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo. Then my life is in your hands. For Lord Van Zeeks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask, which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Every time I look at the photo, every time. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey against my old friend Cosmo. Alright, that's where we'll end for today. We're almost at 4 hours. I figured we'd get through his dialogue and then it'd probably be to be continued, and that'd be a perfect place to start. So we will pick this up on Friday. So yeah, fun stream. Case is very interesting. Got to flex my terrible voice acting muscles today. Oh yeah, yeah. Good progress. Didn't get bogged down too much. And hopefully this one won't take 5 streams. Although it most assuredly will. Alright, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to CJ for the 5 buckaroos. Much appreciated. And I will see you guys next time. Until next time, stream is adjourned.
Very complicated.
I like it with 2 to 4 people. It's
Oh, there
it's
it is.
amazing.
Dancing Dragon Building.